Welcome to a summary presentation covering our latest ASX announcement on our T3 lithium project, and specifically the results from our Maiden Rockchip sampling campaign. T3 is located in the Gascoyne region of Western Australia, which is a really active exploration hotspot right now. We've got an extensive land holding, which has had no prior systematic exploration for lithium. We are neighbour to a lithium discovery called Yinniathara, which is owned by Red Dirt Metals, who picked the project up late last year for the princely sum of $25 million. And they have committed to a really extensive drill campaign of 90,000 meters. So they've obviously seen something of real scope and potential here. Our T3 project, why are we there? Well, we're in search of lithium, cesium, tantalum, pegmatites. What's the prospectivity of the ground? Well, the old adage that the best place to make a discovery is beside a discovery is certainly true in this case. We picked the project up because it's got a very similar geological setting to Yinniathara. And how are we going about exploration? Well, we're using established best practices in lithium exploration, and specifically geochemical vectoring or fertility analysis in the technical jargon. We're using established methods, so we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. The tenure comprises 3 exploration licenses, 212 kilometers squared, and it overlays an interpretive perspective corridor, which we're calling the Volta corridor, which is perspective for hosting lithium-bearing pegmatites. We have got the northwest and southeast extensions of this corridor, and in the middle is the Yinniathara lithium discovery. And you might ask, what's the lithium source in the region? Well, we believe it's the major granitic bedrock system called the 33 Supersuite, which pretty much starts at the top of our T3 North tenement and extends all the way to the south. We believe we have 40 kilometers of this prospective corridor, and the prospective region really is the halo around these granitic plutons, which is shown in the pink on the diagram. The most prospective areas by the traditional lithium exploration model is typically 0.5 to 5 kilometers from the granitic edge, and that's commonly called the Goldilocks zone. And from the results from our Maiden Rockchip sampling campaign, we believe we have got a significant portion of this Goldilocks zone throughout our tenure, which we have proven from fertility analysis. So fertility in the technical jargon, this is an established science behind lithium exploration, which is pioneered in the 1980s. So hard rock lithium, cesium, tantalum deposits are typically hosted within pegmatite rocks. These rocks are believed to have evolved from a parental granitic source, and most pegmatites and granites are going to be completely barren, so not enriched in the minerals of interest, but those that are deemed fertile in the technical jargon. So the original Yinniathara lithium discovery was made by SAG Resources in 2016. They used fertility analysis to prove that their portion of this TTS granite system is fertile, and from this work that we have now done, we have essentially done the same for our tenure. So proven that the granites in the area are fertile or have really strong prospectivity for hosting LCT deposits. In terms of pegmatites, we are very fortunate to have lots of pegmatites outcropping at surface throughout our tenure. We've only covered about 5% of the land so far at T3, and we have found them really extensive. We, in fact, ran out of sampling bags on our first trip in October, so pretty much tripping over them up there. And we collected about 230 samples, and the samples are all alluding that we have got serious prospectivity for LCT pegmatites. And why are we saying that? Well, just look at the assay results. We've got really anomalous lithium, cesium, and tantalum. So best lithium result so far is around 900 ppm Li2O, which is really anomalous when you consider that background in a granite is around 45 ppm. And to have this success at such an early stage is really encouraging and promising for us. Some photos of the rock chips, and again, encouragingly, they cover both pegmatites and other ironstone-looking rocks, which alludes to that lithium could be found in several sources throughout our tenure, both in pegmatites and schists and even in ironstones. So this is really intriguing for us. So the main outcome of the results we have displayed through this fertility analysis, that our rocks are highly fertile, highly fractionated, which just means it's got the right chemical makeup to host an LCT resource. And we've also shown that they're enriched in LCT mineralization. So this is a major tick from such an early point in our project's evolution. The second big outcome is that we've identified 3 drill targets. We're calling them Andrada, Ceres, and Morpheus, which you can see there on the diagram. So this is really encouraging again at such an early stage. And the next steps, well, we'll soon be embarking on an extensive soil sampling campaign. And we're building that pipeline of drill targets. And all going to plan, we would like to be testing some of these targets as early as April or May this coming year. And I've just put a brief timeline of events to put things into perspective of that Yiniathara lithium discovery. So SEG Resources were originally in the area around Q1 2016, and through this same fertility analysis, they vectored towards that Melinda discovery area, and the first discovery hole was put in around Q3 2017, and their best intercept at the time was 23 meters at around 1.1% lithium oxide. 2017, they changed their name to Arrow Minerals, and Arrow focused then on other projects, so there was no real work done on the projects from about 2018 to 2021, and the project was sold to a private company in August 2021 for $1 million Australian dollars. The private company Electrostate, they continued to do exploration for about a year and a half. They did some further soil sampling, geophysics, and some drilling. And then late last year, they sold the project for $25 million to Red Dirt Metals. And Red Dirt Metals have committed to a 90,000 meters drill program. So that's a serious valuation uptick over the space of less than 4 years. And the valuation that Red Dirt paid for it and their commitment to such an extensive campaign really shows that they've seen something of real potential here. A bit more granular view on the SEG and Arrow Minerals discovery and the specific events that led them to their discovery. So we believe that we're almost halfway through that journey. And just for comparison purposes, if you compare the best initial Rockchip that got SEG interested initially in the area, their best initial Rockchip was around 200 ppm lithium oxide. Our best initial Rockchip was around 900 ppm. So based on their pioneering work that they did on the fertility, we haven't tried to reinvent the wheel. We've adopted the same approach, using a rigorous scientific approach to this lithium exploration. And all going well, we hope to be drill testing some of these targets very soon. So investors can really anticipate lots of good news flow coming over the coming months.